to determine the status of each god in a particular city and whether the gods are sufficiently appeased. Lightning bolts indicate that the god is feeling hostile toward your city, while the blue mystic symbol indicates that the god is feeling benevolent towards your city. The more you see of either, the more your city is to feel the god's presence, for the better or for the worse. Okay, so that's going to be right here. Overseers, public health, diversions, overseer of the temples. Looks like Bast is amiable. Okay. Gonna hold a new festival. Gonna hold a lavish festival. Preparing for a festival of Bast. Sounds fantastic. It's good to make Bast happy. She's a cat, so we gotta make her happy. You know what happens when cats aren't happy. Yeah. Saffy knows. You can speed up time on festivals. Why are these things not going? 1,000 people call home. Okay. Good inundation. Okay, your city needs more. As you become more advanced, some citizens will enjoy leisure time activities such as taking a little entertainment. A wide assortment of entertainment is one of the hallmarks of a truly cultured city. But currently, you only provide entertainment in the form of jugglers. The juggler needs a venue in which to perform. The smallest of which is called a booth. Build a booth on the corner of a road to staging juggling performances and a juggler school nearby to train performers. Both need access to employee housing and enough workers to staff them. Jugglers who are trained at juggler school will proceed to a nearby booth, but putting on shows, imparting a modest amount of entertainment to the surrounding area as they pass by. Alright, so I'm going to put my roadblock over here. They pee on furniture? What? They pee?
You said, do you know what happens when Bast isn't happy?
Oh, they pee on furniture. Oh, right. That could happen, yeah. Very well could happen. Yeah. Do 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 do. Look at the festival going on. Now that is amazing. Oh, that's a really cool improvement. They didn't have that. They didn't have that animation. That's so cool. I love it. What's wrong with this one? 0% complete. No workers. There's no workers there. Okay, so we need entertainment. We need a juggler school. And that we can put right there. Then we're gonna need some booths. I got the blessing of the gods, eh? Bast blesses its houses and bazaars with a bounty of food and goods.
Yay.
Thank you, Bast. You're so wonderful. There we go. Got some jugglers here. Got some jugglers there. All throughout the town square. Oh, there we go!
Excellent. You have
Victory!
built the first true city in this unforgiving land, providing for your citizens' corporal and spiritual needs, and have helped the Thinite Confederacy unify the divided land.
What should we get for dinner? What do you think? I can't get Egyptian food.
Not exactly what Egyptian food would be like. Nobody sells Egyptian food here.
Well, you need like ostrich and chickpeas and lettuce and plenty of like bread and wheat and ale and what else? Possibly, I'm not sure if they did crocodile. But they did have a lot. They did have a lot of bird stuff, like certain birds and yeah, they did. It teaches you in the game certain things. Next mission. Let's go. We're going to Perwaj and the Delta of the Nile, which is called Lower Egypt, but it's actually you have to think of it as like for Egypt. For Egyptians, Higher Egypt was further south down the Nile, and Lower Egypt was up here in this place. See? Or watch it. The precarious Nile. Wind conditions. We need 10 modest households, and we need a population of 600. Let's go. What should we get for dinner?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Immigrants stop coming to your city when the city's sentiment is too low. Lower wages, higher taxes, high unemployment, or too many slums can be the reasons why they don't come. The best kept Egyptian secret is that hippos can dance, but ostrich have the most swag. If you're colorblind or if the information is not clear enough in the overlays, you can toggle an option to have building show columns that represent their risk access levels. Okay. Check your overseers of diversions, health, learning, and temples for information on coverage. Your culture rating is an aggregate of all of them. I have a play button down here.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them in their cause, it is hoped that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwajit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river. To support a population larger than that of a village, You must learn to use agriculture. Egyptian farmers have begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we have floodplains and farming. To feed your people in Perwajet, you must build farms directly on the floodplain in order to gain benefits of its increased fertility. Unlike most working structures, farms on the floodplain do not need direct access to employees, but do need a steady workforce of peasant laborers provided by work camps to settle their fields. Each work camp's fairly close to the floodplain. Build work camps fairly close to the floodplain farms, so peasants won't have to walk too far to reach them. Each year, the Nile floods its banks, replenishing the depleted soil on the floodplain with rich, fertile mud. Peasants harvest the annual crop just before the inundation and deliver it to your granaries. Because there is only one harvest per year, make sure your city has enough granaries to store a sufficient amount of food for your growing population. And we right-click it. We go to... Look at all these. So you have... all this floodplain. The good part is all the water is there too. So you have to start with some roadblocks here. I'd say here and here. Okay. So wait, can I go any further up there? No, I can't. Okay, so we're gonna have housing here. Okay. Then I'm gonna build a road around that. Just put my block up here. I hate that. Wait. Hold on. Okay. Slow down the game. We're gonna go. Should we go to a direct pause? No, I guess you can't do a direct pause. You can slow down the game. Okay. Oh, it thinned out my houses. Damn it. It does that sometimes, because it'll do that if people haven't put in for the houses. Okay, so then you put in services, you put in wells. Here. That way. And I have to put in a roadblock here for right now. Going to get some water carriers here. Boing.